From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, August 31st, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.59 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,203 per ounce. Zen is trading at $18, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,922. Antiwar.com reports the Trump administration has reportedly abandoned a plan to cut $3.5 billion from the State Department and U.S. aid allocated for foreign aid after an outcry by a number of congressional leaders. The $3.5 billion was said to be unnecessary, and the administration had intended to return it to the Treasury by year's end. A number of senators opposed the idea, though some said they weren't clear what legal option they had to stop it. The Office of Management and Budget told the Senate on Tuesday that they don't intend to go forward with the plan, though there has been no elaboration from the administration on exactly how the decision was made. Since the initial announcement, the U.S. withdrew $300 million from aid funding earmarked for Syria and another $200 million for the Palestinians. In both of those cases, the funding was said to be moved into the General State Department funds to be spent elsewhere. This may be considered distinct from the $3.5 billion, where the money was not intended to be respent at all. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? Will anybody care? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. UPI reports the Department of Justice rebuked Harvard University on Thursday while weighing in on a federal lawsuit alleging the school is biased against admitting Asian Americans. The case's plaintiffs, a group of students called Students for Fair Admissions, filed a suit in 2014 alleging Harvard intentionally discriminates against Asian American applicants when making admissions decisions. The plaintiffs seek relief from Harvard's alleged discrimination under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The Civil Rights Act prohibits discrimination on the basis of race, color, or national origin in programs and activities that receive federal financial assistance. In a statement on its filing on the side of the plaintiffs on Thursday, the DOJ argued that Harvard had failed to show it does not discriminate against Asian Americans. The department said plaintiffs have offered compelling evidence of discrimination against Asian Americans and should be allowed to prove their claims at trial. The DOJ's statement on its filing said that Harvard has attempted to racially balance its student body and called it patently unconstitutional. Harvard has denied the allegations repeatedly, saying it follows guidance from the Supreme Court dating back to the 1970s and says the suit is part of an ideological campaign to overturn Supreme Court's affirmative action rulings. The federal lawsuit, likely to be tried in October, could become the next test on whether the Supreme Court is willing to overturn decades of precedent on affirmative action. The Supreme Court has affirmed the practice multiple times, including most recently in 2016 in a suit challenging admission policies at the University of Texas. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap and Amazon, at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. That's shop.fppradio.com. Reuters reports California lawmakers on Thursday passed a bill requiring hospitals, healthcare facilities, and prisons to offer plant-based meals, saying that even inmates deserve to have healthy and ethical meal choices. The legislation, SB 1138, which passed overwhelmingly, allows patients and prisoners to choose a non-meat option at every meal, regardless of whether they are doing so for health, environmental, or personal reasons. The measure, sponsored by State Senator Nancy Skimmer of Berkeley, still requires approval from Governor Jerry Brown to become law. Brown has not said whether he will sign the bill or not. According to the Assembly Appropriations Committee, the bill would result in minor costs to California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation to prepare a plan to implement the provisions of plant-based meals on an overall cost-neutral basis. Skinner said in a written statement, by guaranteeing access to plant-based foods, SB 1138 respects the health, ethical, and diet choices of those in hospitals or other institutions who don't have the options to prepare their own meals. The lawmaker said serving a plant-based meal was also good for their environment, citing a 2014 study in the journal Climatic Change that vegetarian diets were associated with a reduction in food-related greenhouse gas emissions. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.